Hello and welcome. I'm Gorgin, and today I'm going to talk about ESLint. But what is ESLint? According to its website, ESLint is a pluggable and configurable linter tool for identifying and reporting on patterns in JavaScript. Maintain your code quality with ease. Let's open ESLint.org, that is its official website. Before we dive into ESLint, let's tell you a diary about myself. When I was just migrated from PHP and Java to JavaScript, I used to put semicolon at the end of lines because it's necessary in Java and PHP. But as you know, it's optional in JavaScript. And the pattern that our JavaScript developers in our company follow that don't use semicolon at the end of lines. So every time that I forgot to don't use semicolon, my colleague says me, hey Gorgin, it's not Java, it's not PHP, it's JavaScript. Semicolon is not necessary in JavaScript. So it would be helpful if we use a tool that warns me when I use semicolon, or even it was better if there was a tool that could automatically remove semicolon if I use it. Hopefully, ESLint can do this kind of works, and even much more. To install ESLint on your project, you can follow installation instruction available on ESLint.org. But before installing ESLint, we have to have a Node.js project. So let's open terminal and create an empty Node.js project. Terminal. We have an empty directory and type npm-init. Ask some question, package name, version, description, entry point, keyword, yes, okay. And we have a package.json file in our directory, and we need an index.js file as well. So let's touch index.js. So we have an index.js and a package.json file in our directory. To install ESLint, npm install ESLint --save-dev, because we need ESLint in development environments, not in production. Installed successfully, and after install ESLint, we need to configure ESLint for our project. So we need to type npx ESLint --init, or copy from documentation. Here ESLint asks some questions to initial or configuration for our project. First question is, how would you like to use ESLint? First option is to check syntax only. Second, check syntax and find problems. And third, check syntax, find problem, and enforce code style. I choose second one. What type of modules do your project use? Java modules, CommonJS, none of these. I choose CommonJS. Which framework does your project use? According to your project, you can choose. First option is React. Second, Vue.js, because I want to use a pure Node.js project. I choose third one, none of these. Does your project use TypeScript? No, I don't use TypeScript for this project. And where does your code run? This asks about your environment, browser or Node.js. I choose Node.js. The last one, I think, what format do you want your config file to be in? JavaScript, YAML, and JSON. I choose JavaScript because it's more handy. Successfully created. This command creates a ESLint rc.js for us. That is our configuration for ESLint. Let's check list of our files in our directory once more again to see what happens. ESLint rc.js, index.js, node modules, package.json. Let's open Visual Studio Editor. Let's check ESLint rc ESLint RC is an object that contains some properties such as environment, extents, parser option, and rules. The most important part of this object is rules. So let's dive into rules, but before we add any rules, let's comment extend. We will uncomment it later on and explain what it is. Rules property contains list of rules that we want our project follows them. To check which rules we can use, we have to refer to ESLint org once more again in user guide and rules. Here is available rules that we can use in rule object. Left side is title of rules and right side is description about what every rules do. For example, let's search about no var rules. No var require let or const instead of var. Let's head into our project and see what it do and how it works for us. Each rule can accept one of three values: error, warning, and off, or their equivalent: 0 for off, 1 for warning, and 2 for error. That is the error level that we want ESLint generates for that specific rule. I choose error for now and open index.js var a equal 5. As you can see, Visual Studio throws error on defining variable. If I hover mouse on it, unexpected var use let or const instead. And let's bring in. And the reason or the rules that produce this error for us is ESLint no var. You can see which rules produce this error. And if I change error to warn or its equivalent 1, for example, you will see Visual Studio throws warning instead of error here. Or if I change it to 0, disappears. Once more again, here are a list of ESLint rules. You can add every rule that you find it helpful, or even make your own rule as well, but it's not necessary for most of JavaScript developers. But reading all of rules and think about which ones are good and which ones are not takes a lot of time, and besides needs a lot of experience to have right choice. To solve this problem, ESLint has its own built-in recommendation rules. To add recommendation rules, we can comment it or delete. Let's delete it. Assignment of line 7 is solving this problem. So if I uncomment it, our project follows ESLint's recommendation, and you can override your own rules on top of ESLint's recommendation here by adding your own rules in rule property object. If I back to index.js, we can see error changed. If I hover mouse on it, A assigned but never used. And to add ESLint to our npm command, we open package.json and add a script here. Oops. And add lint and executes ESLint and this directory. And add another command to fix our project automatically. Note that lint can automatically fix many of issues in your code, but not all of them. So lint fix oops, and ESLint base and -- fix. Let's open terminal, npm run lint, error on line 1, character 5, a is assigned a value but never used. Exactly same as what we see in Visual Studio Code when I hover mouse on it. In addition to ESLint's recommendation rules, there are many other companies that has its own recommendation rule as well. One of the most famous one is Airbnb. So let's take a look at Airbnb recommendation rules. To install that, open new tab and search for Airbnb module. I have it in my browser history. I will put the link of this page in the description so you can check it out. As you can see, the package name is ESLint config Airbnb base. There is another module called ESLint config Airbnb without base that is configured for React projects, and this module is a more general version of that. To install this package in our project, first make sure you have npm version 5 or earlier, and copy these lines of code and paste it here. Airbnb configuration installed successfully. So we need to change some things in our ESLint rc.js. And that's this. We need to change extends from ESLint recommendation to Airbnb base. Let's come back here and ESLint Airbnb base. And it's done. When I change extend from ESLint recommendation to Airbnb, Visual Studio shows me some errors because Airbnb follows different standards. Let's see what errors are. The string must use single quotes, unnecessary quotes property, and so on. To fix all of them, open terminal and ask ESLint to fix them. Errors goes away and everything works good. But we have an error here. Sometimes you need to do some things that ESLint shows error to you, but it's necessary for your use case, and depending on your scenario, depending on your project, depending on what you want to do. So you want to ask ESLint to escape these lines of code and let you continue coding. To do so, we have to use one of ESLint command. I'll put link of ESLint commands on description of this video so you can check it out. ESLint disable next line. Error disappears, but in next lines const b equals 6, for example, ESLint works. Hope you enjoy and thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe my channel, and also put the comments below. See you soon.